A chance at some history here in our final week at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes in Newark, New York. We've got a chance to have just the second bowler sweep a month at a house. That guy is Mark Polaski. He'll try to do that today. One of these three guys will try to pull off the upset. Could it be Louie Bauer, Josh Smith, or Lee Burnett? Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes. I'm Paul Peck with Buffalo Bowling Hall of Famer Sue Nawojski. Mark Polaski has been awesome to watch. He has been dominant here on these lanes. He bowls a lot of regional PBA events. How much do you think that prepares him for this level of competition?
Oh, it not only prepares him for it, it has shown us that it'll make him excel on it. I mean, that tournament experience is second to none. So I called in some friends from Fort Myers, and I got some inside scoop. So he's going to be trouble.
All right. Yeah, well, we already know, Mark, you're a little bit of trouble already, but I'll ask you the question. You bowl at a high level, some of these PBA regional tour events. How much does that prepare you for what you have been facing with everybody coming at you here?
I bowl some, but to be honest, at the end of the day, it's just bowling. It's the same thing. I mean, you're trying to do your thing. I mean, regional, beat the champ, or just a local tournament. You're just trying to do the same thing, go through the same process.
All right, you got a chance at a little bit of history. Only one other bowler has done it 4 weeks in a row. Is that something on your mind going into this one?
Sure, if I'm here, I might as well try to win. Eh?
All right, well, he's here. He's going to try to win. We got 3 bowlers that we're going to try to put an end to that winning streak. We are ready to get rolling. It's our final week here in Newark, New York, so let's get rolling. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Latina Boulevard Foods, your favorite family in food distribution. And by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowlingNewYork.com to find a center near you. It is Lee Burnett and Josh Smith to get us started here. And again, as we do with our 4th show in every bowling center that we go to, the qualifiers were made up of league bowlers. So these 2 guys and Louie Bauer that you'll see in our next match are regular league bowlers here at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes. And sometimes, Sue, that brings a little bit of advantage and comfort factor to our bowlers.
Sure. We haven't noticed any lack of quality. I mean, everybody that we've seen is of a great bowling background. They seem to do a great job here on the show. That rise to the occasion for sure.
And we're off to good starts with strikes in the first frame for both guys. Lee Burnett is 54 years old from Lyons, New York, not all that far away from where we are here in Newark, New York, which is about 45 minutes east of downtown Rochester. And again, local guys here, all bowling in this competition. Scoring and stats powered by Matina's Pizzeria, serving Western New York since 1992. These are guys that all know each other, that bowl against each other, with each other, throw barbs at each other during league nights here at Rose Bowl Lanes. So it's fun just watching the guys in warm-ups. They're all friends. They're all buddies. They know each other. It's we're in a small town where everybody kind of knows each other, and that's what kind of makes this fun. And Josh Smith has a great story of connections here to Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes. He's 33 years old from right here in Newark, New York. 221 average for the league that he bowls in here at Rose Bowl Lanes. So Josh actually grew up next door to Doug Kent, one of his best friends, one of Doug Kent's sons, and Josh's dad is the mechanic here at Rose Bowl Lanes.
So he's really familiar.
Oh, yeah.
And so he is presently the mechanic here?
I'm not sure about presently, but I think when Doug bought the place, Josh's dad quit his regular job to become the mechanic here.
Beautiful.
I think Doug's owned this place for a little while, hasn't he? Should have asked Doug when he was on in our first show. And that's a second frame spare for Josh Smith, owner of Smith Exteriors. So he is a busy guy during most of the year, fighting the weather that can get a little nasty at times around here in this part of upstate New York. And as Josh was telling me, he's a Newark guy through and through. Played Bolden High School at Newark High School. Again, obviously grew up next door to the Kents and spent a lot of time since he was 10 years old here at this bowling center.
He throws it really good. I mean,
yes, he does.
But you figure Doug bowls in a league here too, so you got to, without asking, you've got to figure there's some pretty quality bowlers in the league.
Sure. 220 average for Lee Burnett. 2 leagues a week that he bowls in, including the one here. That's a third frame strike for Lee. 30 career 300 games and a high 835 series. Good numbers for Lee Burnett.
This guy has a nice game too. He's got a beautiful follow through. Really straight through the ball. It's important to get through the ball on these wood lanes. I mean, projection is one of the things that pretty much everybody's had in common in this past month, and that's because the heads can start to go on this, and getting it straight through the heads is really important to retaining ball energy down the lane.
That's a double for Lee Burnett. And this is a good tight match. Watch the form for Lee. And now back over to Josh.
You really see in the replay from that angle, his eyes through his target. He stays with it until he sees the ball go through the target.
28 career 300s for Josh Smith, a high 826 series. And when he asked about his biggest bowling achievement, he said it was that 28 300, which came 3 weeks after he started walking again, after he broke his leg and had screws and plates put in. So I can understand why that was a pretty significant moment for Josh.
Yeah, we just saw a really nice replay here of his backswing and his going down into as his push weight is going down in his knee bend, and again, looked pretty picture perfect. Very similar to what we saw with our last month.
Yeah, which we've seen plenty of here. We almost had a 300 game thanks to Mark Polaski last week. We've had a few bowlers that have had strikes on the front side 5s to get us all worked up and excited. And this is a good match going on right now here. That's 3 in a row for Josh Smith. And Lee Burnett with 3 in a row. Lee Burnett has been on television before. Normally when we get to these league bowlers, most of these guys are trying to figure out the whole TV atmosphere, but he bowled in a Syracuse Masters on TV about, I don't know, I think he said 2010, so about 15 years ago. So this is not the first time the lights, camera, and action has occupied Lee Burnett. And it's 4 in a row. We're off to a great start here. We're at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes in Newark, New York.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
All right, ready to get rolling again here. Josh Smith working 3 in a row, gets set for the 6th frame. I keep mentioning that we are at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl lanes, and most of our bowling fans out there hear that name and know immediately who Doug is. But if you don't, 10 career PBA wins, PBA Player of the Year in 2007, 2 USBC Masters, 2 PBA World Championships, and voted one of the 50 greatest in PBA history, Hall of Fames in the PBA and USBC. What a career for Doug Kent. Career wrapped up. He's a local guy from here, had a chance to buy the bowling center and continued bowling as part of his life. And you know how that works.
Living the dream. He said it. He said it too.
So it's been an honor for us to be here for the first time in the presence of one of the all-time greats in PBA history in Doug Kent. And they've been wonderful hosts here, and we're excited to come back again here next year. Here's Josh, and that's another strike. That's 5 in a row. No one will be happier than Doug Kent, probably, watching his young protege, Josh Smith, knock him down. Well, let's see. Lee's working on 4 in a row here. So
2 different types of players here, both, equally strong in their own right.
And that streak comes to an end. To follow up on, I mentioned Lee's been on TV before. He won that 2010 Syracuse Post-Standard Masters, which we talk a lot on this show about the Obenauer Masters being the most prestigious tournament in Buffalo. We get a lot of guys who have won that tournament. Well, that's the equivalent in Syracuse, and Lee won it back in 2010, which again, much like we talk about it in Buffalo, if you have a championship in that tournament, that says an awful lot about what kind of bowler that you are.
These guys were matched pin for pin before that, before he left that 7-pin.
So right now, both guys putting the heat on each other. Somebody wants to be the guy who has the chance to end the run of Mark Polaski. Again, only one other bowler, and that's Sam DeWitt III, has swept a month at a bowling center, and that opportunity exists today for Mark Polaski.
Beautiful.
And back to striking for Lee Burnett. Man, I don't want to go anywhere near the league in this place if those 2 guys are regulars, huh?
I know. This is pretty strong bowling right here.
And Doug Kent, by the way, at part of that league too, because he says he bowls in the league here. Like, no way, thank you.
Wow. That's just laying up right, just perfectly. And I wonder very much if this is how they play him, or this is how the lanes look to them, or if they've had to make some adjustments. I mean, if this is the equipment they use while they're here, I mean, this generally you go towards what you know. So I'd be curious to find out whether this is kind of what they see on their league night.
Well, again, these are wood lanes here. We're bowling on a house shot, but no one is more familiar with the intricacies of these wood lanes than these 2 guys. And Louie Bauer, our next bowler, as well. They're here every week. Man, on fire. That is 7 in a row for Josh Smith. Only a spare in the second frame. Could you imagine being a bowler who's like, I think I want to join a league. Let me go over to Doug Kent's place, walk into a league that has a PBA Hall of Famer, a Syracuse Masters winner, and that guy, Josh Smith, in the league.
Wow. But like you said, they know each other, and there's a comfort level to that, and it kind of takes away from the intimidation of the atmosphere. I know that's what happened at my place with the two guys that had bowled high school together. They were instantly comfortable, and kind of the lights were secondary to them two just, having a good time.
Being comfortable, and it goes a long way towards making you perform at your best in any sport. 10th frame for Lee Burnett, another strike. So he had 4 in a row, a spare, and now 3 in a row. Somebody's got to lose this, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, I know Mark Polaski is sitting back and watching, and he might be going, look what's coming my way here. Hope it's not one of these two guys. But if it is, the guy who beats one of the two of them will be the one. These guys have been fantastic. All right, can Lee continue to strike and put the pressure on Josh?
I mean, he's going to shoot 250 and maybe not even have a sniff at winning this game.
Amazing. Watch the form, watch the reaction, watch the result. All right, last shot for Lee.
All right, count is super important here. If he can strike here, he will force Josh to get a strike.
And he does.
That's important.
He ends with 5 strikes in a row. It's a 259. Will it be enough? Not a question we normally ask on this show, on any bowling show.
So 9 spare strike is a tie.
Okay.
Which means in order to seal this match right here, he needs to strike.
All right, he's got 7 in a row. Can he make it 8? Yes.
Wow. Impressive.
Unbelievably impressive. So now all Josh needs is good count here. And he will send Lee to the showers with a 259.
With a 259.
Wow. Amazing. These are going to probably be the 2 highest scores we've had here all month. I'll check on that. Well, of course, we had the 288 from Mark, who almost had the perfect game last week.
Oh, he needed
5. He needed 5, and he got 6. Wow, what a match. Josh Smith, the winner over Lee Burnett. Next up, Smith and Bauer coming your way next. Louie Bauer versus Josh Smith, the winner to try to end the 3-week run of Mark Polaski. And boy, if it's anything like the match that we just saw, 266 to 259 for Josh Smith over Lee Burnett. Amazing.
You almost hate to see anyone lose that match. Oh.
That last match, we think, is one of the highest scoring ones we've had on the show. We had a 261 to 258 match at Grand Island between John Palmer and Brian Ferger. Right. But like that's right up there. Like, you know, as far as the highest scoring matches. I mean, not individually because we've had a 288 last week, but 260. You bowl a 259 and you don't win? What, are you kidding me?
These guys might want to bowl a doubles tournament somewhere.
No kidding. All right, so you saw Josh Smith with the first frame spare. Here's our first look at the 45-year-old from Lodi, New York, Louie Bauer IV. Again, another one of those league bowlers here at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes.
Nicely done.
224 average for Louie Bauer in his league bowling here. 5 career 300s and a high 804 series. Employed by the New York State Department of Corrections in the administration end of that. And again, a regular bowler here at the Rose Bowl Lanes.
Good
Two
connection.
frames, two
Good
strikes.
connection. Just hitting a little bit light. Hit them thin, make them spin, you know.
I like that. Hit him, throw it thin, make him spin.
Hit 'em.
What? Love it. Well, Josh Smith, who had those 8 consecutive strikes in the last match.
Josh he will not be hitting them thin.
No.
There's a lot of power. That boy has a lot of power.
Yes, the spin will come from those pins flying all over the pit there.
He did hit him somewhat light, though. Beautiful mix. Nice camera angle.
Yeah, isn't it cool? It's cool watching that from the lane level camera shot. Who's our camera guy on that? Woody Allen? Sorry, apologies. It's been a long day.
Can't tell you I wasn't thinking something along the lines
Thank you
of,
very much.
that's what the wood sees.
Thank you very much.
I was going to go there, too.
Thank you. All right, 2 strikes in a row for Josh. 2 strikes to start for Louie. Tell you what, I give all credit to Doug Kent, because when you're who he is and you own a bowling center and you bowl in the league, everybody's game is elevated because of who that guy is, and maybe some of what the greatness of Doug Kent has rubbed off on these guys, because these are the 3, I think the 3 best league bowlers that we have seen as a group on this show in a while. Yeah, and that one just never hooked the way Louie wanted it to.
No, we're going to take a look at this here. Just went long, went straight through his break point.
So you got a little sleeper situation here for the spare 4th frame for Louie Bauer. Got him.
Right.
And now back to the 33-year-old from right here in Newark, New York, Josh Smith.
I don't know if you want to give him an opening. He's pretty tough.
In case you're wondering about your geography, we are about an hour and a half from Buffalo, about 45 minutes or so from downtown Rochester, east of Rochester, between Rochester and Syracuse, along the thruway, the I-90 here in New York. And that's the first shot that Josh threw that didn't have almost everything about it perfect. A little too high.
That snapped up very high on him.
So a little bit of a challenging mini split here. He'll get 1.
Yeah, that's a tough one to make.
Our host center for Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart, is Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes, and you can find them online at dkrbl.com. They're just one of our many great host centers. And if you want details on how to be a part of Beat the Champ, just stop in at any of our host centers and ask them how you can be on the show. And we might be seeing you right here on the lanes.
Ooh, that did not come up for him either.
No, he got a little lucky that he at least got that 1 to fall and leaves him only the 7. And again, this is the craziness of this game. You can go from throwing almost everything perfect strikes to all of a sudden a couple shots in a row and things don't fall the way they're supposed to, and then you're left wondering what's going on. but as long as you make your spares. So 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open in the first 5 frames for Josh Smith. Louie Bauer has 3 strikes and a spare as he gets ready for frame number 5.
Yeah, Louie's up 20 here going into the 5th frame.
And yes!
Oh, the slow roll.
There's no time limit, is there?
When the rack comes down, that's your time limit.
Well,
if you got a
all
slow
right.
rack, you got some time.
Well, it might have been a little slow rack, and it was a
So
wonderfully rolling messenger
the rack
pin that
still
takes
hadn't
the
come
10
down.
out.
That thing was long down before the rack even thought about coming down. That is a slow rack.
Hey, you need a couple of lucky breaks. Maybe that is Louie's lucky break in this one.
Not that time.
No, not this time. So he'll have to grab the spare here in the 6th frame. Horseheads, New York High School is where Louie Bauer IV bowled when he was a high school student. It was his mother, Diane, his inspiration to get involved in the sport. And that's a spare in the 6th for Louie Bauer.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends,
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
we are
The bowling proprietors.
of Western New York.
Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
12X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
6th frame now for Josh Smith. Got to seem to find that rhythm back. The rhythm that led him to the 266 in our first match.
Oof.
So what do you think has changed? Right, we saw him go from 8 straight strikes to now that look on his face tells you what he's probably wondering the same thing I'm wondering.
No, easily the lanes are going to evolve, and wherever they're both playing the right hand side, you're going to see subtle changes, but subtle changes can be dramatic depending on what kind of bowling ball you're throwing. So he's relying on the big hook, so the change will probably be dramatic, and that's what we've seen here. So he's prepared. That was a good adjustment there. Almost got away with it.
So the 6th frame spare, and Josh Smith will again try to get back to striking here.
He's down 23 though, so he's needs to find the strike line.
You know, the fun thing about these league bowling shows is,
Nice.
there's a different level of competition because whoever doesn't win this is going to have to answer for it Tuesday night when everybody gets together for the league bowling. So Louie Bauer IV now to the 7th frame with the lead.
That's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. It's a good shot.
Spun that around the 10.
That line he's playing is pretty conducive to 10 pins. We've seen him get a messenger on 1, and now he's left the last 2.
Uh-oh.
That's going to tighten this match up considerably.
Unforced error in the 7th frame for Louie Bowers. He misses the spare. So both guys now with an open, but as you said, doing it in the 7th means you let your opponent right back into the match.
Josh is still going to have to throw the next strike to even it up. So, but the opening is there.
Good strike. Good strike in the 8th for Louie Bauer. So now Josh Smith has to know there's a little bit of an opening available.
That strike there in the 7th, in the 8th for Louie really protects his lead. But Josh can tighten this right up here. Beautiful.
That's how you do it. That's a double now for Josh Smith. That's exactly the kind of shots that we saw back in the first match.
Yeah, and the left lane seems to play a little tighter. You see him playing a little more down and in on this left lane. But he's definitely got to figure it out.
So this is big. This is a big 9th frame for Josh Smith, and then he'll sit back and watch Louie finish out.
Great shot.
There you go. Come on, ball. You heard somebody in the crowd scream, and the ball responded and answered. It's a triple for Josh Smith, and tightens this thing up.
He actually opened that up a little bit more. The last one he threw on this lane, he was a little more down and in. But great results. He wants, he wants the carry. He doesn't want to risk ringing a 10 on it. So he's going for maximum carry. 1 pin separating them.
There you go. There's the answer from Louie, who won a silver medal in the Empire State Games back when he was younger in 2010. And I mentioned Louie's bowled on TV before as a child in the Elmira area. So a long time ago under different circumstances, but at least not the first time he has been on television bowling. Hasn't seemed to bother either of these guys.
Another tight match here. 1 pin separating the 2 of them, both with doubles.
Strike number 1 here in the 10th frame for Louie Bauer.
This is a great finish.
Just like the last one was. Again,
every shot is super important.
Winner goes on to our championship match against Mark Polaski, who has won all 3 weeks here at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes, and is emerging as one of the most impressive bowlers we have had on the show. Second shot, 10th frame.
Oh, there's your opening. Now we have to wait and see what happens.
Wow. Nearly a 7-10 that probably would have decided this match. Thankfully, that 10 goes down. And now the 7 goes down, and Louie Bauer posts up a 225. And now it's Josh Smith's chance.
That 1 pin difference separating them makes a difference between Josh needing a strike and needing a double. He's going to have to double here.
So that's what's on the line. That's what Josh Smith needs. First shot, 10th frame. Strike number 1.
Wow, this is some serious competition going on here. 1 more strike.
That's 4 in a row now for Josh Smith. He had an 8-strike run in the first match. And if he can put a 5-strike run together, he will win. Nothing Louie can do about it.
Nope, he's a strike and 1 pin.
There it is. What a comeback for Josh Smith. Oh, he knew it, didn't he?
He certainly knew he had a chance. He was down. He was down 23 pins in the fifth frame. Has come back to win this game.
Impressive. Tough break for Louie Bauer, again, who bowled well, put a good score on the board, but
missed the one
he
spare.
and his buddy Lee Burnett can commiserate at League this week about, can you believe I did what I did and I still didn't win? That darn Josh Smith. And there it is. He ends with a 6th consecutive strike. 235, 225. It'll be Smith Polaski championship match is next. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
Well, here we go. It's our championship match. Josh Smith and Mark Polaski, our 3-time winner, will get us started here as he tries to become just the second bowler to sweep a month at a bowling center. And he's got the chance to do that with a win in this match. Sam DeWitt III at the ABC Gates Bowl earlier this year, the only other one to do it. And Mark Polaski, who has averaged 247 over the month here, starts off the way he has started a lot of these off. And can Josh Smith ride the momentum of his 2 amazing victories to pull off one more?
Well, the commute here to Gates Bowl is a lot different for these two boys.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's a little easier trip for Josh, about 45 minutes, and Mark Polaski, whether he goes back to Florida or not, might have a longer drive to get there. And we do know one thing, Josh has the crowd behind him here. He has the home lane advantage.
Hometown advantage for sure.
From right here in Newark, New York. And the 4-pin will not cooperate.
Got the Pulaski curse already by the second frame.
Yeah, you're right about that. We just want to thank everybody here at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes for a great month for us here on Beat the Champ, and we hope you caught our first show when Doug Kent joined us and talked a little bit about his evolution from Hall of Fame bowler to bowling proprietor. You know how that works.
I do. There's no better job.
That's awesome to hear. All right, so now it's the 26-year-old from North Fort Myers, Florida, Mark Polaski Jr. 3 wins in a row, undefeated in 4 matches here on the show with that 247 average. And that's a rare, odd miss for Mark.
I think he thought that ball was going to turn around. I mean, seemed a little bit surprised by that ball reaction, that it didn't turn around harder than it did.
See what he can do with this spare. And he can do what he needs to, which is get all 3 of them. He's got family connections to Western New York, which is how he became exposed to Beat the Champ. Has some friendships with bowlers like Pat Brick and has bowled on some regional tour events up in New York. So even though he's from Florida, and you said you got some intel, he's pretty well thought of down there in Southwest Florida, isn't he?
Very well thought of. In fact, the word sneaky good come in my mind when I think about him, because he's disarming with that little 8-step approach that's not something that you normally see on someone that really is the quality of bowler he is.
Yeah, we didn't know a whole lot about him. It's first time we've ever had him on our show was 3 weeks ago. We didn't know much about him, and again, sneaky good is a good way to describe it. And I'll have you break down a little bit of that approach as we move forward here, because it's certainly unique and unusual compared to what we generally see here. But it works for him, and he's got a 235 average in league bowling right now, and an even better average here on our show.
I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge, too. I mean, and the few times we've gotten to talk to him, I mean, you can tell the knowledge that he has about equipment and the technology side of this. He just made a real gutsy move here, went to his bag and picked out a ball. And if it was in his bag, he didn't practice with it, which means it was coming in cold. And he hit the pocket, was a little weak, probably not exactly what he was looking for. But that's a confident move, is to go pull something out of your bag you haven't thrown yet.
So it's a strike and 2 spares in the first 3 frames for Mark. Josh Smith strikes spare, gets ready for his 3rd frame.
He's going to want this double here really bad.
Got the first one. Crowd loves it. Well, and again, it's, hey, Josh has been hanging around here. He's watched Mark bowl. He knows how good Mark bowls. He probably thinking, I need to go out and take some control and show this guy I might be a league bowler, quote unquote. But I'm a worthy competitor, and some of that is kind of how you set the tone early.
Yeah, Mark's smart. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot going on up there, and he's pretty wise as to what he wants to do. I mean, if he does win today, it means staying in Western New York till next month. I mean, there's stuff to think about there. I mean, but he's so competitive, I can't imagine that he wants to do anything but win. But it does become more complicated as someone from Florida.
And there are, as you well know, there are some direct and cheap flights from Fort Myers to Buffalo, so it's all doable, and we hope that it will be, depending on how this match goes. And that's a good-looking strike in the 4th frame from Mark Polaski.
I mean, it was a picture. It was identical to what we saw last week when he got the ball in like that and hated it, and it just sat there and struck for him.
Yeah, didn't like it. Oh, okay. Almost came to what looked like a complete stop there on that very odd approach. Here's might be a good angle for you to watch the 8-step approach of Mark Polaski.
Count them, 8. But he doesn't get the ball working until about the 5th step.
Boy, that one looked like it got a little high, but it didn't matter.
He got that in, and it ran away on him. It was a Brooklyn. Got that in. Never got it to his target. Still caught the break. You can see he's over there playing with this cutting new tape. So he's lost his feel on the ball because he's gonna retape it up.
All right, 5th frame now for Josh. Man, his shots look just like the ones that we saw in the first match when he put a 266 up.
Yeah,
comes off his hands well.
He's dialed in, really aggressive, a lot of power. Again, as the front of the lane gets burned up here, we're in the last match this week. The front of the lane is definitely burning up, and he just has so much power through the front of the lane that he's negating what could be problematic if you're a little slower.
6th frame on a triple right now is Josh Smith.
Oh, got that into the oil. Never got that right. Take a look at this. He's really looking to get out to like the 5 board. That never got there. And right now he's in a pile of carry down soup. So the ball was not turning around.
A pile of carry down soup. I think you should add that to the menu over at Cherry Laurel Lanes. Do with it whatever you want to do, but
like a
carry
mystery.
down soup.
It's
I
like
want a
a
bowl
mystery soup.
of the carry down soup. Oh, and he almost got it. Instead, it's an open in the 6. We'll see how key that is.
X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
6th frame now for Mark Polaski. He has won 3 weeks in a row. Only 2 bowlers in our 2 seasons of Beat the Champ have won more than 3 weeks in a row. Sam DeWitt III did it 6 weeks in a row, including a sweep of all 4 shows at the ABC Gates Bowl. And then Derek Green, back in our first season, won 5 weeks in a row. No one has won beyond that. It's been a cluster of guys at 3. So those are the only 2 guys with longer winning streaks than the one potentially in reach for Mark Polaski. But he's going to have some work to do on that rather ugly 6th frame.
Yeah, and it's a 5 count on a double, too, which I'm sure he's aware of.
So he'll get 3, and that's an open for both bowlers in the 6th frame. So
he lost a lot of pins on that.
Take that 6th frame and launch it into space for both guys.
Right. 14 pins separating the 2 of them. Still anything can happen here.
And I think the one thing that we've seen about Mark through the first 3 weeks of the show is he didn't tend to make mistakes like that. He let the other opponents make the mistakes. He was consistent. Again, 247 average. Take out the 288 that he had last week when he took a perfect game into the 10th frame, and he was still almost 240 on his averages.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, I mean, he seems to not be happy with that rack, but he's got to go. Rack doesn't matter on that one.
Yeah.
That's the second time he's. Yeah,
that counts.
The rack did not hit it.
It counts.
Let's take a look at that. Left a 5 pin. Here comes a sweep.
How many times is that?
The pin spinning around, then the pin hits it, and here comes the rack. Never touched it.
How many times did that pin spin around?
A lot.
A lot.
I wouldn't have thought it had the momentum still to take that pin out.
Now, is that going to be the moment that we'll be asking Mark about if he wins a 4th consecutive? So Mark bounces back from the open with that incredible, unlikely strike, and Josh is only going to have a chance at a spare. And the spare in the 7th for Josh Smith. Eighth frame now for Josh Smith. Thought occurred to me that, remember I mentioned that his dad was the longtime mechanic here. He might have a word for Dad, like, Dad, what's up with the slow racks there? You might have cost me this match. But that's a good strike in the eighth frame for Josh Smith. Because right now the difference in this match could be the slow rack that gave Mark that strike.
Yeah.
So can Mark follow up that seventh frame strike and finish strong? Remember, both guys went open in the sixth. And there you go. There's your double for Mark Polaski.
That's what you do with a break. Take advantage of it.
Won a 2023 PBA regional event in Tampa, Florida. So he has competed at a high level and won at a high level. And again, he has been showing it to us all month here on Beat the Champ.
There is such a thing as late timing, and his timing is so late. You'll see that he is actually posted up at the foul line before that ball comes through.
3 in a row. Taking charge late is Mark Polaski.
Mark is back.
He is bouncing his way down the approach, and that seems to be when he's at his best.
Needs to strike here to keep his 4-pin lead.
Ninth frame, Josh Smith. Got it.
All right, now we're coming in the 10th frame where he can shut Mark out. He has to have a double and 7, and he can shut Mark out.
Next week, we head to not all that far from where we are. We stay in the Rochester, New York area as we go to ABC Gates Bowl. Who will be our returning champion? One of these two guys to be determined. Of course, all these bowlers and everybody you see on the show eligible to be qualified for the Beat the Champ Invitational, which is coming up a month from now when we wrap up Season 2 back in Buffalo at Transit Lanes. So here we go. This is a huge 10th frame for Josh Smith. Got it!
One more.
The slow pin matches the slow rack that time. Look at the 10 pin. Just gently fall over.
That was a nice little love tap there, coming out of the gutter, because that was a half pocket hit.
So here we go. Second shot of the 10th frame for Josh Smith.
If he doesn't strike here, he's leaving it open for Mark.
Well, we love the drama.
Yeah, and we have it.
We're glad we don't have to live the drama.
All right.
So Josh
Not over
Smith
yet.
finishes with a 222, but it is not over yet. Here's what Mark needs. 2 strikes and 3 pins to be our second 4-in-a-row winner. There's strike number 1.
I am very impressed with this young man and how he has come back from nowhere in this match. I mean,
he's on a run of 4 straight strikes.
talk about things going your way. I mean, this is just how this game is.
And he's going to need 5 straight strikes to stay alive.
Two runaway Brooklyns on the left lane, and he's managed to make them work for him.
Gotta have it. And he doesn't. And the run has come to an end, and the hometown guy is celebrating with the hometown fans. It's a win for Josh Smith. What a match. That pin is the difference. 222 to 219. And Josh Smith is our champion. We'll come back and talk to him about an amazing match here when we return at Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends.
Great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
We are
The Bowling Proprietors
of Western New York.
Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
It's the hometown guy hanging out and standing where he spends a lot of time his entire life. Congratulations, Josh Smith. What a dramatic 3 matches. What's going through your mind coming down the stretch of that last one?
Feel like a little kid again. Seriously. I ain't been in this position in a long time. I mean, a lot of good bowlers have bowled, and I don't know. I just needed a good hit, and I got it.
Sue?
I'm just curious. I had asked the question to Paul that I was wondering how close this played to how you play league here, if you use the same equipment or if it was what you see when you bowl.
Same ball.
That's what I was wondering.
Ball. Nothing better. I don't know. Roto grip.
All right, well, guess what? Pack them up, because you're going to make the short trip into Rochester for next week's show as our returning champion. Congratulations. We will see you next week. If he can deliver us half of drama that he did today, we'll be happy to see him. And you will too on next week's Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.